Living cheap isn't miserable, and here's why. Hello, my name is Oliver, and welcome to episode 36 of the series where I upload for the first 100 days of 2026. Living miserable. It's not cheap. Okay, yeah, sure, I don't have a private jet, and I don't have a chef, and I don't have a massive house, and this and that. Like, yeah, I get it, there's loads of stuff I don't have. We all can wish to be in that situation, and for some of us, it might happen, and for a lot of us, it won't. So, is living cheap miserable? No. No, it's not. And here's why. One thing I enjoy about living cheap is getting to find deals. Now that sounds really strange. And, you know, in a previous video I spoke about how many different shops I go to just to get, like, food and stuff. And yeah, that is me. That is what I do. I go to different shops to find my food shop to get it as cheap as possible. And do you know what? It's like a game. You know, you get to run about to all these different places and you can compare prices and, you know, do calculations in your head and just like work out where's the best deal, rather than just be like, okay, I just shop here at Morrison's. You can be like, well, actually that's better at Tesco's, that's better at Sainsbury's, that's better at Company Shop, that's better at Marks and Spencer's. You can just go all about the place in your brain, and it's great because you can do lots of research, and I like that sort of stuff. And it sounds weird, okay? But living cheap isn't miserable. You know, I don't get to drive a brand new car. Okay, I don't own a brand new car. I own a car which is just over 11 years old. It's got over 209,000 miles on the clock, and it's only going up. It'll probably be on about 210,000 when this video comes out, so maybe 211, I don't know. I drive a lot every single day. But it's not miserable. It's okay. Like, I find driving an older car better. Why? Because parts are cheaper. Okay, it's not a car from early 2000s or even the 90s or 80s, etc., but parts are cheaper. I find parts cheaper for my car, and I can fix it myself. That's not miserable, that's fun, that's learning. You see, everything I've said so far, like jumping from shop to shop and comparing prices and fixing your car, it's all about learning, it's about experiences, and it's about building the nitty-gritty stuff of the building blocks of your foundations. Because if you're able to do that rather than just paying someone to go and do your shopping or pay someone to go and fix your car, you know, I'm not going to pay someone to go fix my car because that costs money. You know, I'm going to go fix it myself because I get to learn. I get an experience, it is cheaper, I get to buy tools, which is fun, and I love tools. And yeah, it's just a great experience just being able to do things. So living cheap, it isn't miserable. When you live cheap, you have to go off the high street. You have to go down the back alleys and you have to find these places. You have to find ways to spend less money, and to be honest with you, it's so easy to do. When I've travelled, I've spent little to no money on all of my travels everywhere in the world I've gone, and it's been absolutely brilliant. I love living as cheap as possible, and it is just a great experience. Why? Why do I love living as cheap as possible? Because it's fun. Even if I was a millionaire, obviously there'd be lifestyle inflation and stuff, but I necessarily wouldn't go for, you know, the top spec brand new car, because that just isn't me. It isn't. You know, I'm sure if I was a millionaire I would own a new car and I would pay for someone to fix my car, sure, because at that point time is money. But right now I don't have the money, therefore I don't have the money to spend to save my time. So I use that time to learn skills and, well, explore. It's like when I take my son out. You can take things really as cheap as possible. You can spend loads of money. You could go VIP to Thorpe Park if you really wanted to, or, you know, take your kid on a day trip to Paris and climb the Eiffel Tower. Do you know what? You could probably do that pretty cheap, actually. But if you want to go even cheaper, you could go for a walk down the canal and see how many canal boats you can spot. You could go to the beach. You could park hop. Me and my son, we park hop a lot. We go to one park, then another, then another, then another, because we like to try out different parks and have different experiences. We will then stop off at Sainsbury's on the way back, buy a tiny 50p pizza, chuck a little bit of extra cheese on it, chuck it in the air fryer, and bada bing bada boom, that's his dinner, and I got my own one. You know, a couple little pizzas with a bit of extra cheese. It's a cheap meal. We've spent probably, including the additional cheese, probably like £1.30, £1.40 on 2 pizzas, and we've had a great day just jumping around from park to park to park. You don't need to have lots of money to do this stuff. So being cheap isn't miserable. Being poor isn't miserable. Yes, we all have financial struggles. Even the multimillionaires have financial struggles. But It's all about your mindset and how you choose to live. So it can be as miserable as you want. You could sit there and be really sad. You can't go and eat at the Ritz or shop at Harrods, or I can't buy that new jumper in Selfridges. You could if you really wanted to. Or you could think, do you know what? I don't have a lot of money. I can spend less money, I can stretch my money further, and do you know what, I might have some extra money at the end, which I can invest and help me get up to the point that I'd like to be at. That's what I do. If I have any extra leftover money, I invest it, and cash I save and put it towards my car insurance. So there is always ways that you can live for cheap and it be fun. It doesn't have to be miserable. You don't have to think, oh, it's so sad I can't afford to do that. You can think, oh, there's another way to do things. There is, and it's not always I can't, it's sometimes how do I. So for instance, if you wanted to stay at a hotel, well, you could always go sleep in the toilets there. Okay, that sounds like a silly example, but again, you know, if you wanted to go to a festival, you could go put on a high vis and you could go in. It's cheap, it's free, you've just paid for the high vis. It might sound stupid sometimes, but this is what people do. I've snuck into hotels for breakfast, so it saves me money. It wasn't miserable, it was actually really scary. But it's about the experience on the way, as you're able to slowly build your income and slowly build your savings to the point that you don't have to do these things, and you're just having an awesome life. So living cheap isn't necessarily miserable, because it can be fun. I like to try and find the fun things. I like to do things. I like to bird watch sometimes, you know, we'll point out birds, me and my son. We like doing little trips. You don't have to spend money. You really don't. And even when you do spend money, it can be very little. I could easily take my son away. We could go maybe even abroad. We could go away for the weekend, and the money that we'd spend, including the flights, which sometimes you get flights as low as £5, including the flights, we could go away, stay somewhere cheap, go away for a weekend, have fun, come back, and it'd probably be less than a theme park ticket. So, again, living cheap necessarily isn't miserable, it's just how you layer out your finances and how you do it with your brain. Thank you for watching this video, I hope you have enjoyed it. That's just what I do. If you disagree, let me know in the comments below. If you agree, let me know in the comments below. If you have any other thoughts or any cheap tricks that you like to do, let me know in the comments below, because I would honestly really like to know. Adios, my mis amigos. I shall see you guys all in the next video, which will be up tomorrow at 5 PM. Goodbye for now.